In this section on sacrifices, I want to show you some mates that we haven't covered yet. You know, many of the videos we've already looked at, some of the tactical videos involve sacrifice, but these are a little bit different because you smother the king because he has no escape squares. If you look in this position, you see that you know, black has two pawns, and it's like, wow, you know, he could, you know, he's probably going to win with a passed pawn becoming a queen. But because white is armed with the knowledge you're going to learn now, he sees that he can actually mate the king if he sacrifices his queen. So you look at all the checks. Again, this is how you find these things. You look at sacrifices, sacrificial checks, and all other checks, right? So you see, okay, the knight can check the king here. But it's actually, that would sacrifice the queen. It wouldn't finish the job, although it, I don't know, it might be adequate, but the knight and two pawns might be able to set up a fortress. And then we see that there's a check here with the queen. So, we combine those ideas and we see that check, the king can't take because it's guarded by the knight. So only the queen could take. And now you see the king has no escape squares. And that's the other way that you find some of these possibilities. We see that now with the check, it's actually checkmate. The king cannot run. Can you imagine that, being mated and you still have a queen, a knight, and a pawn? Okay, now let's look at another somewhat similar example that involves more sacrifice. Let me set up the board here real quick. Okay, here's the new position. And we see that, let me see, let's do a quick count here. This knight is under attack twice. We have 1, 2. Looks like white has an overwhelming number of pieces. 1, 2, 3, 2 rooks. No rooks for black. But black has in his arsenal, he's got checks and more checks, forcing the king to do his bidding. So, again, here's how you find these fantastic brilliancies from chess history, simply by combining the simplest ideas. So we look at all the checks. So it's black's turn to move. We see that there's a check here, checking the king. Now, the king, if he comes here, we have the queen knight mate. So the king can't go there. Yeah, you learned that in the beginner video on all the checkmates. Alright, so the king has to run only here. And we see that there's another check with the knight. Yeah? And the king, again, can only run here because his escape squares, he has no escape squares. And that's just the theme, is when the king has few escape squares, it's possible sometimes to do a smothered mate, is what this is called. The king has to come back. And now, again, we combine the ideas of discovered attacks and double checks. We see another check here. Double check with the queen. Again, the king can't run here. He has to come here. And now, pause the video and find the winning move. Combine this with the previous example, and hopefully you can find it. So pause the video. Okay, did you see the smothered check here? There's a check. The king can't take it because the knight is guarding the queen. So the rook is forced to check to capture the queen because the king can't run. And now we have the previous check and smothered mate with the knight. So by combining all these ideas again, you can hopefully find these, you will find these opportunities in your own games. Now proceed to the strategic goals section if it's up yet, and if not, it will be shortly. Thank you.